Hello, everybody. I can't even speak today. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the April version of Lunch with the Mayor. I'm happy to have everybody here. It looks like we have plenty of people that are joining, so thanks for joining in. We're going to have lots of conversations and updates and things like that. However, you see I have two guests with me today. And so we're going to do a little bit of an interview, but really more of a conversation about what happens down in the clerk treasurer's office, also known as the utility office. And so this is Beate and this is Natalie.
Hi.
And we're going to, like I said, talk through some of the things there in the utility office / clerk treasurer's office. But we have lots of other things to chat about. Also, when that part is over, lots of activities coming up. If you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, as always, you can email us at City Hall at info@columbiacity.net. You can email me at rdaniel@columbiacity.net. Call our offices. Mayor's office is 260-248-5111. Clerk Treasurer's office, 260-248-5100. Or as always, you can pop on Facebook or whatever. Lots of ways to contact us. Nevertheless, we're going to go ahead and get started with our discussion, our interview, if you will. So go ahead and introduce yourself. You know, obviously you said your name, or I said name, but name, job description, how long you've worked for the city, etc. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, Beate. you're up.
My name's Beate Christie. I'm actual customer service kind of / billing, so I do help with the billing process. And this week I reached my 24 year.
Woo! 24.
I'm Natalie. I'm the billing clerk. I've been with the city almost 11 years.
Okay, yes. Woo. So obviously, you know, over those time periods, we've had some changes. Certainly, we've had a recent change with a new clerk treasurer, and we've gone through program changes and all those kind of things. And so you've seen a lot of those things. But talk about what the utility department or clerk treasurer's office, like, what's the roles and responsibilities? What are the things that you do from a day-to-day period over different months, things to that effect?
Do you want me to go?
Yep, you can go.
So we're basically like the coordination center, so everything comes to our office. We're the first contact, I guess you could say. And then we solve what we can solve in-house, and then if we can't, we'll send it out to our guys in the departments. So yeah, we work with water, sewer, electric, and street issues as well, so.
Yeah, very good.
Mhm.
Do you have more?
Yeah, we do handle a lot. We handle like new services, permits, taking actual utility bill payments.
Sure.
Different people deal with billing concerns and adjustments, questions. We do send out the work orders to the different departments if needed, if that's not something we can handle. Utility department also takes care of the Green Hill Cemetery by selling plots and like the maintenance. And we also sell trash bags, which are super handy in case you have too much garbage that wouldn't fit in your can. We do sell those in our utility office for $1. Those are super handy. A lot of people do like those.
Yeah. So when, and I say this because I had this situation on Monday, but when someone's street light is out, right?
Yes.
Or when someone notices maybe water running out of a hydrant or things like that, you guys are the first call, right?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
Because then it generates a work order and then it filters down to the departments where they can then take care of the issue.
Right,
Yeah.
we start the work order, the call comes in, we start the work order, and it gets sent directly to an iPad for our departments, so they get it pretty much
Pretty
almost
quick,
immediately,
yeah.
Yeah.
Very quick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
And you mentioned the bags, and obviously our office handles trash, but because of kind of the, let's say the clerk role, the money role, if you will, is that if individuals do have more trash than what fits in their bin, they can come to your office and buy blue bags to be able to fill those for trash and all those other things.
Yep, and it's up to 50 pounds is what they said.
In the bag.
In the bag.
Gotcha.
You can put 50 pounds in the bag.
Yeah. Okay.
Which makes sense because they're lifting, the guys are
Sure.
actually lifting them.
So, real quick, and I probably am supposed to ask this later, but what are the office hours for clerk treasurer's office for the public to know?
7:30 to 4.
7:30 to
4. Friday.
Monday through Friday. So it's
Yeah.
pretty much the same thing as what our office is, 7:30 to 4. So from there, how does the department, you kind of talked about it a little bit, but let's expand maybe a little bit. How does the department help the general public? And what kind of things do you provide for citizens and customers? Like I said, you touched on some of those things, but maybe on a more granular level, there we go.
So our first thing is we have the smart meters, which,
Mhm.
you know, if you have a power outage, they're gonna talk to us immediately, so we're gonna know pretty quick how many people we have out and what we need to do. We get the information, the guys get it immediately,
Yeah.
so. And then that also helps us to identify increases in usage or maybe where a leak may have taken place. You can
yeah.
see on the program
Yeah.
from date to date what has increased and not,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, like if you think that your electric bill is high, I can really go down to this series of dates and be like, hey, it looks like something happened between here and here. Sometimes it could be a water softener regenerating.
Yeah.
It can be all kinds of different things, but it's very, very accurate. So it really does help, even especially with the water leaks. I can be like, did something happen between this and this? And be like, oh, the toilet handle was
Stuck or something. Oh, okay.
And so it can be a super
Yeah.
quick thing.
It also picks up like the average daily temperature, so we can see, like when their bills are high, we can say, okay, from this week to this week, this is what the temperature
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
It was
So
95
it-
degrees as the high for
right,
these
right.
days, or
Yeah.
opposingly, it was,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, it was negative
and that goes in
10.
here
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think along that line, I think that's really important because the smart meters that we
Mhm.
now have for electric and water to a certain extent, those are really helpful in being able to pinpoint those things. So it's not just we get a read at this part of the month and we get a read from this part of the month, and anything in between it is, well, we knew it was sometime in that
Yeah.
time, where now you really
Right.
can get down
Yeah.
to granular
Yeah,
level.
and people just need to give us a call and we can definitely email those out and do screenshots and really help try and locate
Yeah.
what the issue could be.
Yeah, for sure. So along that line, again, if someone does have one of those, they get a bill and go, oh my gosh, this is so much outside of our normal realm.
Yeah.
They call the office and
Yeah.
and you can give them printouts and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah,
right?
yep,
Correct.
definitely call us because we can, like, if there's a water leak or something,
Mhm.
we are able to do a sewage adjustment one time in a 12-month period.
Mhm.
If it's for something like a water leak, we're not offering them on like pool fills or lawn.
Yeah, sure.
We have other programs for that. But yeah, definitely just give us a call. That way we can go over it with you and discuss what could be happening.
I'm going to deviate for a moment from the questions, and that is to talk about maybe data safety. Because I know there are times where people call in and say, hey, can you give me a reading of this and this and this?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we can't give them that because they're either not on the account or things like that. So from a general citizen customer perspective, how can they have access to their information? Like, I guess what I'm saying is what kind of checkpoints do we have to make sure that we can give them information that we have? Does that make sense what I'm asking?
Yeah,
Okay.
so the initial service application, when they come in to sign up for utilities, it will ask who wants to actually be on the utility
Yeah.
bill, so there's sections for that. If they don't have their name on that utility bill, they can also, whoever's name is on the bill, could
Mhm.
call and put them as an inquirer on the account.
Okay.
So we can, when we pull it up, we can see who can ask questions.
Yeah.
They can't make changes, of course, but
Yes.
they can ask questions and
Yeah.
inquire about the information, so.
So that's a really important thing for individuals to understand because, again, if let's say mom and dad are the account holder and son or daughter is on the is the one paying the bill and they say,
Right.
oh my gosh, my electric came up really, really high, call you guys.
Yeah.
If they're not on the account, they don't get the information,
Right.
And even to the point of, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know that we can we even give them the actual bill information?
No.
That's what I thought.
No.
So it's really important to know if someone else is going to be, let's say, the account holder for
Yeah.
the utilities, that if you or somebody else that's not the account holder wants to have information, they have to be put on, let's
As
say,
inquired.
security-wise, they have to be put onto the account. So John Q. Citizen can't call up and say, hey, what's the usage on, 1055 Main
Right.
Street. There isn't
Right.
1055 Main Street, by the way.
Right.
But like they can't just call up and say, "Hey, what's the usage on this
No.
house?"
Right,
Yes.
correct.
So hopefully that gives maybe a little bit of safer feeling, right? Like
Yeah.
that we do kind of keep secure information, and we have checkpoints along the way for that purpose. So
Yeah.
so okay, let's get back onto the task here. So what are a few things that the public doesn't know or doesn't understand about the utility department or the clerk treasurer's office?
I think we're constantly working, trying to make our service better. That could be through ACH, through our office. We offer it through your checking account for free, which is always the better way to do it. But
Okay, talk about that for a moment before you
Okay.
go on. So talk about ACH and talk about like, not to get too far off track
Yeah.
here, but individuals get, I don't want to miss the point. So
Yeah.
individuals have multiple options how to pay their utility bill.
Absolutely.
Correct.
ACH is one of those
Uh-huh.
options. Okay, so what do they need to do in order to get just a
Mhm.
ACH withdrawal?
So if you do it through our office, we ask that you bring in a voided check or something that would have the routing number and account number on it, and like your information. We fill out a form basically giving us authorization to pull it directly from your account. That way, it's not just I'm making something up. So you can do it through our office, which is great. There is another option through Invoice Cloud, the website portal. They allow not only the credit card payments, but they also do banking through your checking account, but they charge. There is an additional fee for that. If you're gonna do it through your checking account through Invoice Cloud, it's better because the credit card limit's at 500. So if you're having an ACH, it can get rejected
Yeah.
if it's over 500.
Gotcha.
So sometimes it's a little bit harder, but a lot of people can like to pay with their credit card. So there is that
Get
option
points or
The
online.
whatever.
checking account also online is just a fuzz cheaper than
Yeah.
the actual,
Gotcha.
credit
Yeah.
card payments. So if you do the routing and account number, it's a little bit less money.
So which methods are free? Obviously, walking up and writing the check and
In-house.
handing it to you is
In-house.
free, right?
In-house.
In-house is free.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, a lot. I mean, I don't like to pay money
Yeah.
to spend my money.
To spend money, yes.
So I definitely would.
So the in-house one though, we only do checking or savings. We
Yes.
can't do
Yeah.
credit
So to be
card.
clear,
So-
that's the ACH though.
Through our office,
Through
yes.
your office,
Yeah,
yes.
correct.
So not through Invoice Cloud, but
Right.
if you fill out the form
Yep.
and you get it automatically pulled, there's zero fee.
Correct.
The reason, and I think this is important for the public to know, the reason why there's a fee is because you're paying a fee for the service itself. To be
Yes.
able to charge that credit card, and you probably know this if you're watching out there, you probably know this, but when you go and buy something at any store with a credit card, that credit card company is charging the store a certain amount. And they
Correct.
probably have it built in some way, shape, or form, although some
Right.
have recently started to add a credit card charge on
Yeah.
there as well. But my point of saying all that is we do get questions
Yeah.
of like, why do I have to pay this fee when I pay with my credit card? Well, the reason is the credit card company charges that. Like Invoice Cloud charges that because the credit card company charges them effectively,
Right.
Yeah,
right?
Right.
and we always try to find the company that was able to do it for the lowest
Yes,
rate.
yep.
Because we don't want people
Yep.
to have to pay more money.
Sure.
For that convenience.
Absolutely. What other things does the public not understand or doesn't know about the utility department? Maybe things that you do directly, things like that. Is there anything else?
I think the cashiers
Yeah.
deserve this big applause because they are fantastic to work with, and I think sometimes it gets a bad rap about like disconnect day and
Sure.
stuff. But our cashiers are fabulous about not only like talking with customers and working like with extensions when they
Yeah.
can, but they also put a lot of customers in touch with programs that can assist further than us through
Yeah.
like a Bright Point. And our girls up there,
Yeah.
they are super great listeners and
Sure.
willing
Yeah.
to help. You just have to communicate.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, communicate in a way that is looking for help, not a you guys,
Yeah.
again, it's
Yeah.
as my mom always said, you get more flies with honey than vinegar,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
so again, not that we withhold service from people, we don't do that, but again, you're going to get a lot further with people when you use honey than you
Yeah.
use vinegar, right? But with that being said, we also work side by side with township trustees on utility payments. We work side by side with it's not Bright Point. Used
yeah.
to be Canine.
Yeah.
Community Foundation's been great. St.
Yeah.
Paul, some of the churches, St. Paul's been really great lately. There's a lot of options that those girls
Yeah.
are connecting people
Sure.
with.
Great. I forgot to mention this earlier, but if you have questions of these two lovely ladies, go ahead and put it in the comments. If you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube, again, you can contact them through our website or through email or things like that. But let's talk about something that is confusing as heck, and that is the summer sewage rate. Okay,
Summer sewage.
if I polled, I think 100 of our residents or 100 of our utility customers, I bet you there may be 2 that would know how to describe the summer sewage rate. Because it can get confusing. So,
Yeah.
can you walk us through the summer sewage rate a little bit and why it's beneficial to our customers?
You want me to take charge of it?
Sure.
You can
Take charge,
do
Beate.
this.
So with our summer sewage program, for one, we do it so that watering during the summer months is a little bit less money. You're paying the water, of course, you're getting a break on your sewage.
Sure.
With that being said, we cap the reading from March 12th to April 12th.
Okay.
So that is a reading that we capture, cap, and that's how you are billed for your July, August, September, and October billing. Billings due in those months.
Gotcha. So April 12th, we take a reading, and from April 12th on, the sewage, no,
Go ahead.
April 12th on, the sewage rate is effectively locked in,
Correct.
right? Okay.
But
So, go ahead.
So we
See, I told you it was confusing.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So we capture
Yes.
the read on April 12th.
Yes.
But summer sewage doesn't take effect until May 12th or May 13th at 12:01.
Okay.
So there's like a month in between that
you're
is
paying
in
the
limbo.
actual-
That you're paying the actual sewage.
Yes.
So if I go and fill a pool, I don't have a pool, but if I go and fill a pool in that time frame, in that 1 month time frame there, I'm still going to get charged for
Yes.
the sewage on that. However, my sewage rate for the rest of summer won't be based on that month.
Correct.
Okay? Does that make sense, everybody? So from March to April, the March to April billing, basically we're finding out what is a normal sewage bill. Keep in mind your sewage bill is based on how much water you use, okay?
Mhm.
So let's say you use 4,000, let's say 4,000 gallons of water in that March to April, then your sewer bill is going to be based on 4,000 gallons. So then from April to May, if you use 6,000 gallons, you're going to get charged 6,000 gallons of sewage as well. But from May to June and on through
Correct.
October,
The bill due in October.
Yeah.
the
So
bill
it's
due in
that
October.
September
So through
13th.
September,
Yeah.
so through those months, you are paying the March to April sewage billing rate, which is
Correct.
basically would be that 4,000 gallons.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I like to say that that rate is a cap. That just means like if you did use 4,000 gallons on your April 12th read, if you use say 6,000 gallons during those months, you're only getting billed for the 4.
Before.
But if you end up only using 3, you're not paying the 4. You're paying the 3.
The lower.
So
So it's the
a-
high end, effectively.
Yeah,
Correct.
so
Yes.
it's a program that always helps. It never hurts.
Yes.
It never
Yeah.
it never hurts you.
So, and again, I want to make this real clear because this is where it gets confusing. Because we bill your sewage rate based off of the water usage,
Yes.
you will still have fluctuations in the water usage, right? If you
Correct.
go out and water
Mhm.
flowers every Friday or whatever, you're going to have, let's say you use 6,000 gallons of water.
Mhm.
In those months, you'll still be paying that 4,000,
Correct.
right? Or if, let's say you use 2,000 gallons of water, you're going to be paying 2,000 of sewage,
Correct.
but you're not going to pay any more than the 4,000 or whatever your
Correct.
base rate is,
Yep,
right?
that's correct.
Okay, hopefully that was informative and you understand it now. I understand it better, obviously. I did have a question come up. I'm not sure you can answer it or not. First of all, someone in here said the cashiers are amazing. So,
They are.
so,
It's probably cat.
no, it wasn't cat. No, I don't think it was cat. So, anyways, and I don't know that you can answer this, but it says, can someone explain why it is that the less electric we use, the price per usage unit goes up? It's mere sense, but it can add up over time. You do the calculation on the electric, but I don't know if I'm assuming that those are the rates that are set by council,
Those
right?
are the
So,
rates.
yeah.
And they said what?
They said so.
I
The
don't
less
think it goes
electric
up.
they use, the price per usage unit goes up.
The only reason that it would go up is if a tracker changed, because those are quarterly, because the rates go down.
Yeah.
If the higher the kilowatt based on,
It's basically, so tracker, just so
Sorry.
you're aware, no, it's okay. Tracker is basically the generation of power and the transportation of power to the city. That's, go ahead.
yeah, it's the price that we have to
Yes.
pay.
So it's a pass-through price is the point. It's,
Yeah.
that doesn't go toward our electric linemen, our trucks, or anything like that. The tracker is something that's basically a pass-through cost for the generation
Correct.
and transportation of that electricity.
Correct.
So, I guess I would just say, Hugh, I'm not gonna pronounce your whole name, but Hugh, I would say if you have questions about that, I'm
Yeah.
sure that either of these ladies would be able to help you walk through that and.
Absolutely.
And so just call the office, 260-248-5100. And I say that to say, you wait a little bit because they're still up here with you.
You're
But,
slow.
so anyways. Okay. Let's see. What are a few ways, and this is something you guys deal with a lot. What are a few ways residents can make sure their utility bills are as low as possible? What are the things that you see that make utility bills jump? What are the things that you tell people all the time, like, go ahead and check this first because this can save you money?
Yeah, I'll do water. Water, the first stop for me is always toilets. The toilets you can check and fix yourself. I would say almost 95% of all my high water reads are toilets. Easiest way to do, take off the back lid of your toilet, add anything to color the water, food dye, grenadine, beet juice, whatever is really going to make a
Okay.
big difference
Yes.
in your water color.
Mhm.
Let your toilet sit for at least an hour. See if any of that color bleeds into the bowl. It can be as simple as like you've got some extra calcium that you just need to flush out of the system. That is the biggest, that's your first stop. And that's something that a lot of even plumbers don't check.
Yeah.
So check that before you call anyone else. You're free to call me, but that's what I'm going to tell you first stop.
Gotcha.
Always.
Gotcha.
And
And that has, a
Yeah.
direct impact on the sewer. Again,
Absolutely.
if your water is running outside of the summer sewage rate, but if your water is running through that toilet, it can add up to hundreds, if not thousands of gallons. So it
Absolutely.
impacts your sewer bill.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a double whammy. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Then I would always say water softeners, especially if there's like a power outage. Sometimes it can reset like how often
Your
it's.
regeneration.
Yep,
Mhm.
you're regenerating. That can end up a lot of money. Just checking for leaks throughout your house, even small drips can really add up to big cost. Check to make sure your hoses are off, get a timer,
Mhm.
check that kind of thing. They use a lot more than you think. And then, even with in like the winter, people leave their water running
Yep.
to keep their pipes from freezing. May not need it as a full stream.
Full
We've
stream,
had
but just a
lot
little
of
drip.
that. Little drip.
Yep.
Put your cabinet doors open.
Mhm.
That can reduce. And if you're in a basement, sometimes you don't need to do that. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say you don't ever have to do
Yeah.
it, but
But maybe in
I
that
may not
in that
need it.
regard, maybe even a little insulation will fix that issue. Will
Right.
save you money in the long
Right.
run, right?
yeah,
So.
absolutely.
So again, that's the thing is that what's so interesting about that is we work with individuals that have brand new homes and people that have 100-plus-year-old homes, and so it's always interesting because sometimes those newer homes have just as much issues as those older homes do, but no matter what, we still go through the checklist of is your toilet running?
Yeah.
Better go catch them. Just
Yeah, I mean,
but yes.
We've had newer homes that have just had a toilet set that go,
Yeah.
they have leaks.
They have leaks already,
Those are
yes.
always things that need
Yeah.
to be checked, so.
What other ways?
You got electric?
Yeah,
Oh,
electric.
you want me to do
You want
electric?
You got electric.
Don't use space heaters.
Okay, because they
Those
suck
little
all kinds of
tiny-
electricity.
Yeah, the little
Yes.
tiny, those are not
Yes.
great.
Yes.
Baseboard heat, if you can avoid it. I know
Yep.
some people
Electric
only
heat,
have
yeah.
Yep.
that. Elements in your water heaters. If
Mm.
one of them goes bad, then
Yeah.
the other one's gonna have to work
Double hard.
double hard
Yeah.
Yep.
to do that.
Yeah.
Keep your furnace filters clean.
Yeah.
Your AC units clean. That's always important as well, because if they're dirty,
Yeah.
they're gonna work harder
Yeah.
to try and keep where they need
The
to
amount
be,
of
so.
furnace filters that.
Yeah.
Yes, there's lots of furnace filters out there that are black because they
Yeah.
never get changed, and it's
Right.
terrible for your air quality. It's terrible
Uh-huh.
for the actual furnace, and honestly, it actually can be in some way, shape, or form. I think a fire hazard in some way. So
Right.
just make sure there's an air filter. If you didn't know this, there's an air filter in your heating and air conditioning unit, and you need to change that out regularly. I think we usually change it out about every 5 to 6 months, give or take. Sometimes it takes more, sometimes it takes less. We got 4 cats, so it just kind of depends.
Yeah.
on
And
stuff.
keeping
So.
your AC unit on the outside.
Yeah,
cleaned
that off the top of it,
screen,
yes.
Those things
Yes,
are.
when you're cleaning out your flower beds or you're walking
Right.
around your house,
Cotton
yes,
trees.
do a little
Yeah.
bit of maintenance on the actual AC
Yeah.
unit too.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Upgrading to LED lights and upgrading
yeah.
to appliances that are more
Yep.
energy efficient as well. So
Versus
those
your
are some
incandescent
things.
bulbs and things to that
Yeah.
effect.
Yep.
Yep. Very good. Anything else? You have ideas?
do.
Oh, you have more?
I do.
Sweet.
I
Let's
do.
do it.
Okay, sewer.
Yeah.
Okay, so sewer,
Oh.
do not flush wipes. I don't care if they say flushable,
yeah.
they are not flushable.
Yes.
And grease. These are things that cost a lot of money when you have to make a repair.
A lot of money.
Not only for you personally, but for the city, which increases rates if they've had a lot of maintenance.
Yep.
So don't flush those.
Yeah, actually on that note, we've had, I remember, it happened multiple times, but where they'll pull a pump and it will just be completely coated in those flushable
They
wipes,
say
right?
Yeah.
flushable.
Like they
Yeah.
say flushable, they're not. Actually, I
No.
think Mike Cook had
Yeah.
had an article that explicitly, that was titled, it was
Right.
like,
Yeah.
it says flushable, but it's
They're not.
not.
It is
So,
not.
you know, again, put in a plastic bag and throw it in the trash or something
Uh-huh.
like that if you have to use them.
Uh-huh.
Hey, my
Basically-
suggestion is get a bidet. I'm just saying, get a bidet,
But basically,
okay?
don't put anything down the toilet that doesn't need to.
Yes,
go
Yeah.
down.
yes,
That
indeed.
doesn't belong there.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. We have found socks. We have
Yeah.
found, I think we found shoes in there, and I'm like, how does this even go down the tube, you know?
Your pets, they don't
The pets,
go.
they don't, yes,
Fish-
God rest their soul,
Yeah.
they don't go down
Fish-
there.
Fish do not belong in the toilet.
So, anyways, off the chain a little bit. Here we go. Okay,
yeah,
let's get back on the chain. Yes.
But that leads to also grease bags. You can get them in our office for free. Those are super nice. Especially we have some new little ones, so they're like single use. So
Yes.
it's like you pour your grease or anything icky in this,
Mm-hmm.
fold it up, throw it in your trash
Yep.
can, and it helps keep our sewer lines clean and operating.
Yeah, and those are free.
Those are free.
So you can literally come in and get a stash of these. We do that at our house all the time. We have there's a little plastic piece
Yeah,
or
you
something
can.
that you put it inside and you just dump all your grease down there. I'm telling you, it's gonna save you, if you dump your grease down your drains,
Yeah.
you will have to have a plumber come in and get that grease out. Even if
Yeah.
you do the flush of the hot water, like, dump your grease in these bags. If you're a city utility customer, come down to City Hall today or next week and get a bunch of those bags and keep the grease out of our sewer systems. We get logs
Uh-huh.
of grease that come through our sewer mains, and it becomes major issues.
Yeah.
So
Costs a lot.
yes, and like logs, like this big, like
Big,
huge.
big.
So
I think that's
for that.
Said something about garbage disposals. You
yeah.
think about composting.
Garbage disposals. That's not where your leftover food goes.
It gets
Yeah.
chopped up into little
It gets-
bits and then gets flushed down the line.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was something. There was all kinds of things that I
Yeah.
learned. Mike Cook in Austin from Wastewater have a brochure that kind of talks
Yes.
about all of those,
Yep.
and there were things that I didn't even think
Yeah.
of. I was like, really?
Yeah.
So
Fogs, fats,
yeah.
oils, and greases.
Yeah.
Those are
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
things that if you wanna wreck a sewer system,
yeah,
that and heavy chemicals. Those
There you
are
go.
two different
yeah. Please don't.
two different sides of different coins there, but
Yeah.
still, those are
Yeah.
big things. Okay, let's see. Do you guys have anything else? If you have questions, residents, customers, go ahead and put them on social media. And again, if you're watching on YouTube later, go ahead and just shoot them to our office. But how can residents contact you?
They can call, stop in,
Okay.
email,
Okay.
all of those good things.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're always on our, 7:30 to 4, someone's there to answer the phone.
Yep.
So just
Yep.
give us a ring.
And that's Monday through Friday, except for federal holidays. We follow the
Right.
federal
Yeah.
holiday schedule. So Monday through Friday from 7:30 to 4 p.m. You guys are there.
Yeah.
And if people want to drop off their bill and a check after hours, we have inside the little alcove there at the very
Drop box.
front a drop box for individuals to put their checks in there. And if they, so let's say this scenario comes up where it is bill pay day, and bills are due today, and they're not due today. I don't think.
not.
Well, they're
They're
always
due-
due,
they're
but
due
you
the
know, but
20th.
they're due the 20th. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say bills are due today, though, and oh my gosh, I forgot to mail it in. You know, oh no, I'm gonna have problems and stuff. They can call your office and you can say, hey, listen, I'll be in on Monday morning to pay it or things like that, right?
Yeah,
Like,
just give us a call.
I mean, ultimately what I'm trying to say is, you know, you guys really do try to focus on customer service and you try to
We
figure
do.
out ways to work with people. Now, the problem comes in when people are late on their bills for 3 and 4 months in a row. Like
Yeah.
that's where the big problem comes in. But if
Yeah.
it's something where something came up, had a family member in the hospital, you know, you are on vacation in another state and you just realize the bill never got paid. Things like that. We work with people all the time on like
Absolutely.
every time on that, right? So,
Absolutely.
but
Absolutely.
it's the kind of habitual non-payers that are kind of the challenge
Yeah.
at times.
Yes,
So,
can be.
Yeah.
We're hitting on that note as well.
Yeah.
If they want to, the customer, when they call in, update us with an email,
Mhm.
a phone number, we sometimes need to reach out to you as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So if we see a bill that's maybe
Mhm.
out of range, or we
Yeah.
don't have a check that's signed or something to that effect,
Mhm.
we're trying to get a hold of you.
but if we have an
So-
old phone number, an old email address and
Yeah.
stuff, it's like, well,
Yeah.
there's only so much we can do. Sometimes
Right.
we can mail, I guess, but generally speaking, if you have to come into the office to pay a bill or to get some of these grease bags or
Uh-huh.
you know, buy a blue bag for your trash or whatever,
Yeah.
just stop by and again, if you're on the account, ask the cashiers, ask these ladies if you can make sure that all your information is up to date, because
All right, yeah, even
I mean-
if they're mailing in their payment, they can jot it on their little bill pay
Yeah.
slip that they're sending in,
Yes.
and then we can get
Yes.
that updated.
yeah.
Because we have had to reach out, and
Yeah.
sometimes we have trouble finding, but.
Yeah, and again, if, now, we don't catch everything, obviously,
No,
but we
no.
try, if we see things that are really out of range for,
Right.
especially for a couple of months, and it's like, hey, here's our sign, right?
Yeah.
And so we try to contact people and try to be good stewards, not only of
We
their
really
money,
do.
but also to make sure they're not paying any more than they really have to.
Absolutely.
We try our best.
Yes.
We do.
Absolutely. Anything else you want to chat about? Anything else that you think the public needs to know that they don't know, or maybe the biggest issues that you have that come into your office that a little more public information would be helpful, or anything like that you can think of?
We really love the rave notification.
Yeah.
We think that's fantastic. It helps people know if there's a power outage, or if there was we had that gas leak,
Mm-hmm.
so the road was shut down. Those are great.
Yep.
It really does help with dispatch, so people aren't calling in saying, "Oh, my power's out."
Yes.
Those notifications really do help.
Yeah.
That way, we're not tying up their lines.
Sure.
I think
So.
with that notification system as well, if I remember, you get to pick which notifications
Yes.
you want.
Yes.
So if you're
Yeah.
picking disconnect day or a shut off day,
Yeah.
that's gonna come out.
Even
Whether
if
or
you're
not.
whether
Even
or
if
not
you're
you have a
not.
bill that
Yes.
whether you paid it or not, you're going to get
Yeah.
notifications that
Yeah.
disconnect day is coming up, right?
Correct.
But yes, I
Yeah.
also love Rave. I mean, I love the fact that we that you can sign up for when is the next lunch with the mayor. You can sign up
Right.
for
It's great.
you know, what street closures that we have, or utility issues, or even to the point of you can sign up for, is the pool at capacity?
Yeah.
Like just so it's a really well rounded, and you can decide. Do you want a text message? Do you want a voice message? Do you want an email? Do you want all three?
Yeah.
So there's lots and lots of options on the Rave. You can go onto our website, columbiacity.net, and it's one of the scrolling pictures, I think, or no, it's actually, I think it's one of the paragraphs
online.
underneath it. But the point is, find Rave, go ahead and subscribe to that program. It is free to the public. It's something where you have all kinds of good information that goes directly to you, so you know what's happening in the city, as well as you know, even things to the point of like rate changes. You know, we every year we go through a rate adjustment, so that we do kind of minor things, and you get to know about that. You get to know when it's going to take effect and all those kind of things.
Yeah.
So cool. Well, thank you, ladies.
You're very
Appreciate
welcome.
it very
You're
much. We didn't
welcome.
talk about this, so you can just go ahead and exit out the door.
Okay.
But if you have any other questions, you can contact the utility office. Thank you,
Thank you.
ladies. Have a
Thank you.
wonderful
Thank
rest
you.
of the day. Appreciate it. Go ahead and shut the door on your way out. Thank you so much. So hopefully that was eventful and informational for you all. I think it's always a good thing to know kind of number one who you're working with, but also why we do what we do. And so hopefully that was beneficial. I didn't see any other questions. I probably should ask one more time, but appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and go through project updates at this point. But again, if you have questions for me regarding city stuff, go ahead and put them up there on Facebook, and I'm happy to answer those. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and send it to me through other mechanisms. Project updates. The comprehensive plan. We are pretty much done with it, if you will. The steering committee has kind of gone through it. We've taken all the public input, all that stuff. So now it's going to go in front of the Plan Commission for their review on May 4th, and the City Council will review it on May 12th. The Blue River Trail South project, again, we're kind of waiting on the contractor. Spring is kind of weird. Obviously, construction's kind of hard when everything's so wet. But the contractor will need to come in and finish some things, and so we've kind of been waiting for a little bit later spring for that purpose. The former Whitley County Jail, I talked about this a little bit in depth during my State of the City address, but also on previous Lunch with the Mayor programs. We are doing a request for proposal, an RFP process. It is going to be put out ASAP. It's like really close to being done. So we are looking for either private investment or a public-private partnership in some way, shape, or form there. So that will be hopefully coming down the pipe here very shortly. Eagle Park for the amphitheater. Design is still occurring. Timeline is still being established. The firm, as mentioned, the firm will have a guaranteed maximum price, and then the city will have to decide to move forward or stop the project at that point. We've looked at different financing options, figuring out what's best. And figuring out, all those kind of little components, they're not little, but those components that come along with the process there. So, dog park utilities are completed. The fencing quote was approved by Park Board, so now it's just a matter of getting the fencing experts in there and getting the construction of that. Again, the goal is to have that done by the end of the year, preferably by fall. We'll see. Just there's a lot of things that it depends on, but we are working on that. That again is going to be on the former skate park area, nearby land, in Morse's Park, near the kind of main playground, if you will. Downtown project. We're still working on the preliminary engineering report for the downtown revitalization project. So that will be, again, that's still kind of very much in the early stages of process. They're gathering data, all that kind of good stuff, utilities, etc. Reminder, junk pickup is the week of April 27th. I think I spent like 15 or 20 minutes talking about, maybe not that long, but I spent a lot of time at the last Lunch with the Mayor program talking about this, so I'm not going to go through all that again, but please have all your materials to the curb by 6 a.m. on the 27th. That is the only way we will guarantee pickup, is 6 a.m. on the 27th. If you get it out later than that, I cannot guarantee pickup. Also, we are doing the full city in one fell swoop, 1 week, if you will. So last many years, we have done 2 different weeks, one east side, one west side. But now we're doing everybody at once. We figured out with the trash company, because of the amount of trucks they bring in, we can do the whole city in 1 week. So we are doing that. Hopefully that will save cost on our junk pickup. And we'll also make sure that we get everybody picked up. Now is the time to start setting those things out if you've not done so yet. Now is the time to start setting it up. We are in that 2-week time frame, now. So this weekend, if it's decent and you have not much to do, it's a good time to get your junk out to the curb. Nice orderly, please. And details for all what we do take, what we don't take, all those things. If you have tires, refrigerators, things like that, there's a different process for that. All that information is on our city website at columbiacity.net. If you go up on the services tab, you can click on junk pickup, and that will have all the information you need, or it's on the city's Facebook page as well. I think I probably also shared it on my page as well. I got a comment that said something about dogwood. So Teresa, I'm not sure what I didn't get the first part of that message. So go ahead and put that question back in there if it was a question. Again, I had it in my notes, but we talked about it a little bit. Sign up for those rave alerts to make sure that you're up to date on what's happening in the city, as well as different meetings and lunch with mayor programs and things to that effect. Leaf mulch is available at the back of Morses Park. It is self-load only, but it is back there and available to the public. It is first come, first serve, so when it's gone, it's gone. Now, we did do a pickup of leaves here, I guess a day or two ago, or we maybe are still doing it. We are picking up leaves because we know we had a very short leaf pickup schedule because we had snow early this past year. So, long story short on that is that I'm not sure what we're going to do with those leaves. They won't be available for the mulch, but we have plenty of mulch back there. At least we did. So hopefully there's still some back there. I've not been back there to look. But on that note, first limb pickup was this past week or this week. So the next limb pickup is the week of May 4th. So if you have leaves, and again, that's not for, a tree that a contractor has cut down or anything like that. It's for, limbs and sticks and things like that, bushes without the roots, all that kind of stuff you can put out, and we can kind of go from there. So, okay, got a couple of things streaming in here. Alan says, we love walking the neighborhoods. Many of our sidewalks have raised up and are uneven. We've seen the other areas have shaved off, evened up the sidewalks. Is this possibility to improve walkability in town? Thanks, Alan. We spend about $100,000 a year on curb and sidewalk work. There are areas that have no sidewalks. There's areas that have, we'll say, uneven sidewalks, and there's areas that do have more even sidewalks. So we kind of try to balance the three of those. One of the things we do have, one of the programs we do have is the 50-50 sidewalk program. So if residents want their public sidewalk to be more even, we actually partner with them. We do most of the work in-house, but it is a 50-50 cost share. It ends up being a really good deal versus a private contractor, if you will, for residents, but still, that is one of the options. I think this year's plan is to finish the third phase of Westgate, which I haven't talked about yet, for sidewalks, but we are always looking at areas that we can replace and repair sidewalks. Again, though, we have the 50-50 sidewalk program there as a way to effectively, I hate to say this, but put people on the list. So if, for instance, you have an area, let's say, in front of your house, you have a public sidewalk that is poor, out of shape, etc., you can partner with us and go 50-50, and effectively we make the project happen this year. Whereas if we go through and do the process, typically we like to take large swaths. So we'll do a neighborhood, or we'll do maybe a block or 2 blocks or whatever we can actually fund with $100,000. And again, obviously, money has been cut from our funds this year, and will continue in the future. So it's always a balancing act. But good question. I know that was a lot of information, but hopefully it helps you understand kind of a little bit of our decision making. So. Chris says, I realize city police are busy and have a lot of responsibilities and cannot enforce every single ordinance. However, I do believe that the moped on Main Street that's been chained to the tree underneath the 2-hour parking sign for the past 4 months without moving needs to be addressed. Christopher, if you will send me an email, rdaniel@columbiacity.net with the specific location of that, and I will pass it on to our ordinance enforcement coordinator, and we can get that addressed. So thanks for bringing that to my attention. Dogwood Drive has been flagged for cables about a month ago. How long do they have to stay, and why was this done? Great question, Teresa. I don't know, is the answer. I am not aware of anything happening on Dogwood currently. I will say that yard flags are only good for basically a month. So after a month, you have all the authority in the world to pull them. I don't know specifically what's happening in Dogwood. I don't know if it's a cable situation. I don't know if it's fiber internet. I don't think it's our utilities, but you can always call in our utility office, 260-248-5100, and ask them if there's any work being done there on Dogwood. So I'm not aware of any, at least off the top of my head. but you can certainly call and find out. So, okay. If you have other questions, shoot them on there. I will. I'm going to keep going with my list here. I got about 15 minutes from what I can tell, so we're going to keep moving. Youth council applications. If you have a current Columbia City High School freshman, if you have a current Columbia City High School freshman that has an interest in government, or has an interest in public service or things like that, or just wants to be more involved in the community, there are like one-pagers, if you will, that are in the Columbia City High School office they have QR codes on them, so they need to fill out all 3 of the QR codes. One is a application, one is a parental signature page, and one of them is a teacher evaluation. I think those are the 3. I think. And so with that being said, I think we've posted some of those QR codes on our city Facebook page, but there is a full page of those QR codes that are available at the Columbia City High School office. So again, this is current Columbia City High School freshmen. We are taking applications through April 20th at 8 a.m. So get on it if you have a kid. Well, not you. Have your kid get on it if you have a kid that has an interest, and we'll be selecting those individuals, I think, within the next month-ish, month and a half, I don't know, something like that. So, let's see, what else? Oh, okay. So if you watched my State of the City address, or you read my post, you will know that I have announced that I am not running for re-election for mayor of Columbia City next year. It was of course, it's always a hard decision. I'm in my 4th term. This is year 15. I will serve 16 years. I'm already the longest serving mayor in our city's history. Kind of helps that I started at 27, but still, it was a hard decision. I love what I do. I'm very honored and blessed to be able to make this impact in the community, to lead my community over the last 14 plus years. I do want to answer a couple of questions that I've been getting a lot of. First one is, what am I going to do next? Am I going to run for a different office or things like that? The short answer is I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I know it's probably time for a break for me, and I think it's good to have fresh blood come in and take a look at the city and maybe change routes or do something different, whatever the case is. But I have 21 months to figure out what I want to do next with my life, if you will. So that'll be probably something I'm not going to focus on until next year. Certainly later next year, probably. But as I mentioned in my speech and in my announcement, we're going to keep nose to the grindstone until this is over, until my term is over. So I am not focused on running for any other office. I at the moment have no interest in running for any other kind of office. I'm very happy with my time as mayor. I'm very happy with being in the city of Columbia City. So that's kind of where we're at. That's my answer to that question. I don't know. Here's the second question. Who's going to be running for mayor? I don't know that answer. I have heard rumbles and rumors from people, but I have no clue who's going to run. Nobody has officially announced at this point. So I don't know who's going to be running for the office of mayor. And then lastly is my term up at the end of this year? And the answer is no. The city election happens in the year prior to the general election. So this is the midterm election year. 2026 is a midterm year. 2027 is the city election. So there'll be a primary in May. There'll be a general election in November. And then that person, whoever becomes mayor by election, will take office January 1st of 2028. So plenty of time between now and then. Another question I get a lot is, why did you announce so early? And the answer to that is I wanted to give people who have an interest in being mayor an opportunity to get their name out there and run a campaign. And the State of the City address seemed like probably the best time for me to announce that, because we had an audience and we had, my department heads there and my council members there and things like that. So that's why I announced early. It hasn't changed anything we do here. It hasn't changed our focus, our mechanisms, our thoughts, anything like that. We continue to run forward into the wind like we always do. So I just wanted to touch on a couple of those things so that I've gotten those questions, and I want to be, again, as always, forthright and candid with you. So let's see. Can you update? I'm sorry, there's a lot of things here. Okay, can you update on development north and east of Walmart? North and east of Walmart. Okay. So there is yes, I've talked about this a little bit in the past, but there is a development that we are working with the developer on that owns the property north of Walmart. We're working specifically on, city utilities and roadways and all that kind of stuff. I think we're planning to put a TIF district in there, which basically means that we capture the value of that development and put it back in so that growth is paying for growth rather than regular citizens paying for growth. So long story short is we're working on that piece. There will be housing as a part of it, probably commercial, that's another part of it. I don't have that much detail from timeline and that kind of stuff. I know that they are working aggressively to try to kind of get all the plans in place, get all the approvals necessary, all that kind of stuff. But I don't have like a shovel-ready date. I don't have any of that stuff yet either. So once I start finding that stuff out, I'll be happy to share that with you all. But Rick, that's about the best I can give you on that. So. Okay, very good. Upcoming events. Okay, mark your calendar. Here we go. Tomorrow is the Battle Buddy 5K. That starts at Eagle Park at 7 a.m. Tomorrow is also the Ag Museum fundraiser breakfast from 7 to 10 a.m. That's a free will donation. Tomorrow night is Comedy to the Rescue for the Humane Society. That's at 7 p.m. at Indian Springs Middle School. $25 a person, again, benefits the Humane Society. April 14th is the Board of Works and City Council meetings at 5 and 6 p.m. respectively. By the way, as always, those are open to the public. You can come and sit in the audience. We actually have moved public comment to the front of the meeting, the first part of the meeting. And the reason for that is I always thought it was weird that we had public comment at the end of the meeting after we've already decided stuff. So we're now moving public comment to the front of the meeting. So if you have thoughts and opinions about the things that are on the agenda or anything else, you'll have an opportunity. I think we give 3 minutes for anybody to come if they want to address the council. It's not a question and answer time. It's more of addressing the council with the issue. So that is something to have on your radar. But or the Board of Works, same thing. 5 p.m. for Board of Works, 6 p.m. for City Council. Board of Works is more the administrative body. City Council is the legislative and fiscal body. So April 16th is the annual Center Cook-Off at First Church of God. You do have to have reservations for that. April 25th is Columbia City Connect's Downtown Cleanup Day, 9 a.m. to noon. That is a really, really cool event. If you're looking for something to take your kids or grandkids to help volunteer in our community, it is a rain or shine event, I believe. So grab some gloves, or if you don't have gloves, come downtown. They'll have gloves for you. Bring your rake, and maybe there's trash bags available, all those kind of things. Just bring your kids or grandkids and come downtown and help clean up our community, get it ready for the numerous festivals and events that we have in downtown, as well as for basically spring cleanup. Again, 9 a.m. to noon on April 25th. Mark your calendars. April 25th also is the opening day for baseball and softball at Morshes Park. So if you're not downtown, you may be at Morshes Park getting ready for the first baseball or softball game of the year. So if you're down there, also enjoy that. That's really the first marker of, let's say, summer is when our baseball and softball teams start playing each other, and it's always a great time, lots of excitement and stuff. So May 1st, mark your calendar. That is the next Lunch with the Mayor. May 1st, the next Lunch with the Mayor. May 1st is also a busy day because that afternoon evening is the first Friday of the year in downtown Columbia City. So May 1st is the first Friday of the year. That is from 6 to 9 p.m. I think they're doing Touch a Truck, and there's some other stuff happening. So that is that's always a great time. That's a great first event. Typically, with May, sometimes it's cold, sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's rainy, sometimes it's not. So I didn't know I was a poet. I didn't even know it. So Let's see, what else? May 2nd, Columbia City Youth Council is hosting a pickleball tournament. I think they're finalizing some of the details on that, so that information we will put out on social media and stuff. I think I've paused. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let's see, what else? May 2nd is also Downtown Historic Walking Tour in Columbia City. So if you want to come downtown, get a kind of a historical walking tour of the city, you can come downtown. That is 10 a.m. on May 2nd. Also on May 2nd, busy day on May 2nd too. Babe is having their Pregnancy and Child Loss Remembrance Walk. That's at 11 a.m. at Morses Park. That's always a really meaningful and impactful time. I believe this year they're having Alyssa Ivanson, who's a news anchor on Wayne TV, Wayne 15. She experienced child loss, and so she's going to be a keynote speaker there. But it's a good time. My wife and daughter and I have participated in that. We lost a child before our daughter, and so we celebrate that child through that walk we have in the past. So that's always a good time. May 5th is Election Day. So City Hall will be closed that day. Remember, this is the midterm election. So for the primary, you will have our U.S. representative, you will have our Indiana House member, you will have our sheriff and our city council members, and things like that on this election, this primary election, Republicans, Democrats, etc. So that is coming up on May 5th. May 7th is National Day of Prayer event at 7 a.m. on the east side of the courthouse square. May 9th is the Columbia City Connect Flower Crawl. May 16th is the Go Topless Jeep event. I want to be real clear. This is a Jeep event at Pages Crossing. That's sponsored by the Whitley County Chamber of Commerce and Visitor Center. That's 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Pages. May 18th is a Whitley County Veterans Flag placement at the different cemeteries. Supposed to meet at the VFW for 8 a.m. That's another great volunteer experience. If you want to take your kid to do something meaningful and volunteer, or take a cousin or an aunt or uncle, great opportunity there. Meet at the VFW 8 a.m. on May 18th for placing the veterans flags at the cemeteries. May 25th is the Memorial Day Parade and a ceremony. The parade will start at 10:30 a.m. As always. We'll start down at the Marshall Building on Walnut Street. We'll come down Van Buren, west to east, and then we'll turn south on Madison Street, and we'll end up at the Green Hill Cemetery. So that's the route. As always, it's always a great service at the cemetery. So highly suggest going to that Memorial Day Parade and ceremony. Again, 10:30 a.m. is when the parade starts. May 28th is Whitley County Consolidated Schools' last day of school. Can't believe we're almost to the last day of school. We're, a month and change away, which is crazy. And then May 30th is Troy Center Band Together event at the Shrine Horse Grounds at 4:30 p.m. And I believe that's another one of those situations where you need to get tickets of some sort. But in any case, if you have any last-minute questions, please pop them up there right now. And I can try to answer them before I close out, but we are quickly coming to an end of our program. We are obviously now in spring, moving quickly into summer, so all the events in downtown and around the city are going to be happening. We are a little over a month away from our aquatic center reopening. We have lots of cool things that are planned for this summer. I'm as always, I'm excited about the summer months. I don't love the heat, especially as a ginger. Sunlight is maybe my enemy in a lot of ways, but there's all kinds of great things that happen in downtown Columbia City. There's all things that happen throughout the whole community, and so I'm excited about this time of year. It's not my favorite, but it is a great time of year to be ready for all that stuff. So, can you update? Rick, I think I answered that question. East and north of Walmart. I think I answered your question on that one. Oh, unleashed dogs. Okay. Unleashed dogs. Okay, well, if you see unleashed dogs, they're not supposed to be unleashed. So I think we were planning to put up some signage at Eagle Park because we had some issues with that. I think we talked about that maybe at the council meeting, if I remember correctly. So I know that was brought up in that regard. So I think they were working on putting some signage up there. Again, as a reminder to the public, you're not supposed to have your dogs unleashed, especially in public parks or other places. But just in general, if you have them outside off your property, make sure they're leashed. It's a safety thing for everybody. You may think Fluffy is the nicest dog in the world, but John Q. Citizen walking towards you on a sidewalk does not know that Fluffy's the nicest dog in the world. And so it is a part of our ordinance. So yes, please do that. Okay, as always, if you have questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, opinions, you can always contact me at rdaniel@columbiacity.net. Call our office at 260-248-5111. You can contact me on Facebook at under the Mayor Ryan L. Daniel page. And we continue to work on trying to make the community better today than it was yesterday. So thanks everybody for tuning in. I very, very much appreciate it. It's great seeing you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of April. And remember to tune in on May 1st for the next Lunch with the Mayor. Have a good one, everybody. See you later. Bye-bye.